Predictions last week on Celsius, the model predicted $45 would be in the money, which came true, closing the week at 45.89. Good predictions to sell covered calls against without getting a sign. My Amazon prediction was not great, however, with Amazon pushing past 217.5 during the second half of the week, closing the week at 223.07. I had to roll up my weekly poor man covered call position to avoid assignment on my short call. My AI model is not perfect and does make mistakes. This is a data science approach model using historic price action and strike prices to see which became in the money or out of the money to then make predictions on, with the main benefit being to sell covered calls. The AI model is able to predict out of the money strikes for the majority of week, making the model helpful when deciding which calls to sell. The model returns strikes and predicts if it will be in or out of the money by end of week. The model believes SPY will close somewhere between 617.5 and 622.5. Here's some interesting news as I carousel through the AI predictions for this week. S&P and Nasdaq last week hit new all-time highs after the tariff pullback, showcasing investors are still bullish going into the second half of the year. Robinhood showcased interesting launches with their tokenization of US stocks so that EU customers can purchase American companies on their platform. Robinhood is also tokenizing equity in OpenAI and SpaceX, enabling retail investors in the EU to invest in private companies, launching the stock 10% on Monday. Tesla debuted robotaxis in Austin, Texas last week, Monday, sending shares 10% on the day, limited services with invited guests, and a human in the passenger seat with the ability to stop the ride in case of emergencies. Tesla also completed the first self-delivery. The car drove itself 15 miles to a buyer's home. This can help lower delivery costs as the car can drive itself from the dealership or factory rather than depending entirely on trucking logistics.